Hi, it's David, and this video is for the Leader Coach Catalyst, especially the catalyst in you, that part of you who knows that you see a big opportunity to transform something, not just because it's going to make you rich, but because you really care deeply about it. You know it's going to make things better for you, but for a lot of other people, and you're motivated to do that. And your mantra, if you are going to be the catalyst, is you cannot transform your business without transforming the way you lead. And if that makes some sense to you, you have no idea how you've just differentiated yourself from the majority of the population. Most people, you're really rare if you're buying into that, because most people fight so hard to not have to transform, to be able to just stay as they are. You know, hey, yeah, I love that idea. You guys go do that. I'll be here. You know, just don't ask me to change. You can't transform your business or whatever part of your life you're wanting to transform without being willing to change yourself. And essentially, it's a matter of learning. Are you willing to do the learning to create that transformation for yourself? But you may be asking, yeah, well, I'm willing to transform, but I don't know exactly where I need to transform. Well, it's probably going to be specific to whatever the transformation is that you're creating. So based on that, let me help you with just a couple of ways to look at it. This is really simple. And allow me, if you will, to draw a picture of you. And you and I know you're way more attractive than this, but I'm trying to go quickly here. So this represents you, and we're going to look at things inside you, or sort of from within, and more outwardly. Okay? So from the within side, when you wonder, what is it that I need to learn to create that transformation? It may not be obvious, but you can make it more clear and start to get better hints about it if you ask yourself, what is it about this transformation? And again, skills are going to be specific. Each transformation may require different learning. So what both excites me and also what frustrates me? And that's going to be great information for you, because if you ask what excites me and you identify that, you know you found something that inspires you, that means something to you. So when it gets difficult, you'll keep going. You're really committed to create that outcome. The other thing is then what frustrates me, because if it frustrates you, you know that you care about it, you've tried to do it, and you've failed to do it. And that's where the frustration comes from, because you've tried, it didn't work. If you didn't care, you wouldn't feel frustrated. If you hadn't tried, you wouldn't feel frustrated. If you didn't care, or if you hadn't failed, you wouldn't feel frustrated. So it's the combination of those that helps you start to identify, this is going to be at least one of my stretches. I'm excited and I'm frustrated. The other way you can approach it is to look outside yourself to learn where your learning gaps might be. And just ask yourself, where is it I dislike someone? What it is about them that I dislike or even despise. And then the third way is just to say distrust. When you look at someone else and ask yourself, what is it, and you see what you dislike, despise, or distrust, you've probably heard this before many times. The thing that we most dislike in someone else is some quality in ourselves that we're not so happy with. And so it's almost like projecting it on them, or it's easier to see it in them and dislike it. So ask, who are the people around you, probably other leaders, and what is it about them that you dislike? And it will start to help you understand, okay, this is another place where, in order for me to create a bigger transformation, this is a place that I need to transform as a human, as a leader. And it's probably not going to be comfortable. Now, don't take this too literally. This doesn't mean if you see somebody telling lies or stealing, that the part of you don't like is that you're a liar or a thief. It's more, what's their motivation behind it? And I'll give you an example. There were actually a couple people years ago that I really, really didn't like, because they seemed to always have to call the attention to themselves. And I just kept ranting about how I didn't like that about them, until I decided to look at myself, and I realized that when I wasn't aware, when I was feeling insecure, I did the same thing. And so I saw something in myself and them, and I didn't like it. So that told me where I needed to do the work, and I've actually did a lot of work to recognize when that, sometimes I still want some attention, but I can recognize, okay, is this really serving me, or is just this some insecurity that I have that's trying to be fed and I don't want to feel it? So that's an example. The two things: look inside, what excites me, what frustrates me, and then that's going to show you a place that you care about, but you probably don't have the skill yet or the knowledge. And then the other side is dislike, despise, distrust, and then don't look at that literally, but ask yourself, what's that motivation that you see in them that actually might be an issue that you need to address within yourself. And in the process of doing that, then you can start to transform yourself. Really, you can't create a transformation from an arm's distance. And now that you know what you want to learn, what are some ways that you can accelerate that learning to help you with your transformation? The first is to find people who already have the qualities that you admire, that you'd like to learn for yourself, or have learned those lessons and demonstrated that they've learned those lessons. Ask them for what you need to learn, but don't ask them to give you the answers, because the answers that they'll give you will be their answers. What you need to ask them to do is to tell you their story. Not so that they can say, you need to do this, this, and this, but just listen to their story and listen to the stories of multiple people, because no one person is exactly like you. And as you hear from their stories, you'll be able to pull the learning of, oh, here's where I need to learn it. Maybe even get some ideas on how to learn. But again, you're not asking them to tell you, you're asking them what to do, you're asking them to tell you their story. The other way to accelerate your learning is, as you start to learn things, as you pick them up from whatever source, immediately turn around and teach it to somebody else. Because the old saying is teach until you learn, and it will never fail you. It forces you to recall the information that you have sort of intellectually, but when you try to teach it to someone else, it forces you to learn it at a deeper level, and then they're going to ask you questions that you hadn't thought of yet, and it's going to only help you further better understand, as well as be better prepared to put it into action. So ask people questions and ask for their stories. And then as you learn, teach until you learn. And then 3 things to just keep in mind as you do this, or sort of to watch out for. Remember, you need to be clear about what you're trying to learn. Yes, we need to transform, but how? What do you need to learn? And once even if you're in the general territory, you're good to get started. Understand 2 things when you do that with the what. One is, where are you now with that? What is your level of understanding or skill or ability? And then what is success going to look like? What do you need to be able to do or know in order to have that success of the transformation that you're looking for? So know where you're starting, know where you're going to end. That helps you understand the gap, and you don't have to know all the way you're going to get there, but just try some first steps. The second thing to remember is then you're just going to need to repeat the cycle over and over. Learn, and then teach someone else, and then learn and teach someone else. And you'll watch your knowledge and your skills start to climb if you'll follow that process. The final piece then is to understand the old phrase, which is, we become the company that we keep. So keep good company. Find people who already know what you want to do, or what you need to be able to understand and do to create that transformation in yourself and in your business, and hang out with them. I've done this myself. You don't necessarily have to like these people or want to be their best friends. They can still teach you things. I've done that before, where I've wanted to particularly learn someone's way of looking at the world, and I just find ways, enroll in their classes, see if I can help them on a project, whatever it is, to watch them work and experience them work and share conversations with them and start to take on their mindset about something that you want to learn. Or maybe a behavior that they have that you'd like to get better at, or a personal quality that you really admire in them that you'd like to get better at. Just hang out with them. We become the company that we keep. So keep good company. So you cannot transform your business without transforming the way you lead. And this video was meant to help you, the catalyst, find ways to identify where you would want to transform to create that transformation outside of you, and then some ideas on how to approach that. So I'd love to hear back from you on how this video landed with you, what helps you, what still doesn't make sense, what questions do you have, and also share with me how this video itself, the format, the way I'm sharing these ideas with you is working for you, and feel free to share any suggestions, because I'd love to hear them. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.